right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for A Place Further Than the Universe, Episode 2.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is a mouthful. It's a long show. Okay, so we now know the girl, get her name.
Yes,
Kabuchizawa, yes.
Okay.
Kabuchizawa.
Hopefully we'll be able to remember that.
Kabuchizawa. We got it.
Kabuchizawa and Tamaki.
Tamaki, yeah.
That's much easier. All right. Now, so they are at the boat. And
they're at the boat. They have not gotten on the boat. We do not
Right.
know if they will be meeting anyone else before getting on the boat, or if they will meet people while on the boat.
But there was that little end credits bit thing at the end of the previous episode with
showing the clerk,
the clerk
from the
girl,
one place,
yeah,
and
the place.
Tamaki's friend.
Right.
So there's a very real possibility
those are probably the
that
four main characters.
Yes, there's a very real possibility they're the four main characters. I don't know if they correlate specifically to the people in the opening.
Probably.
But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Also, they have to figure out how they're going to have some kind of official expedition down to Antarctica.
Right.
Unless they're going to, sneak their way to Antarctica. Which I think there is a 10% possibility they could do that, but I'm more excited for their passion and inspiration and just overall energy inspiring other people to help them make their way to Antarctica.
Exactly.
Even though they have impossible odds against them.
Right.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But hey, kick reason to the curb.
Yes. Do the impossible. The unthinkable.
Touch the untouchable. See the invisible, touch the untouchable, and break the unbreakable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go beyond. Plus ultra. So without further ado, let's get into this.
今はフリーマントルから乗船、帰りはシドニーから飛行機っていうのが普通。
So they're just scoping out.
そして、ここでしらせに乗り込み、南極へ。乗れるの？基本的に南極観測は国家事業。高校生は絶対に無理。ただ、今年は特別。今年は。
They can do it!
その笑顔を見たとき、なんか心がブルブルした。
Wow, okay, stop showing up.
Yeah, Madhouse is just like...
私は今、人生で一番途方もなくて、とんでもない大きな計画を立てている。
Yeah.
何これ超いい！何？高校生女子募集、接客業、男性とおしゃべりしたり、お散歩したりする仕事ですって。
Wait, what?
内容によっては月100万以上も夢じゃないかも。見つかったら終わりだぞ。大丈夫だよ。バイトするって学校には届け出すから。何も分かってないな。このままでは隊員の安全が確保されないのではと、計画そのものに対する批判の声も相次いで。はい。
続きを読んでいただけますまいか。
はい。資金面の問題と合わせてこう。まだこんなにある。
She has to write
なんて小学校以
lines.
来だよ。授業中に読んでるからだろ。だって我慢できなかったんだもん。そんなホイホイ乗せてくれるわけないと思うけどな。そっか。
Madhouse, you are shameless.
ごめん。時間は厳守。南極行くならなおさらよ。数分の遅れが生死に関わるんだから。だから先生に怒られたって送ったじゃん。バイトは？今日までに決めるって。そうだけど。高校生女子。接客業で男性とおしゃべりしたりお散歩したりするバイトなんだって。かなりの時給でしょ？そうだけど。そうなの？いや、私もめぐちゃんに教わったんだけど、しらせちゃんもちょっと抜けてるとこあるよね。抜けてない？ただ知らなかっただけ。ね、心配になるでしょ？それに仮に中止にならなかったとしても乗れるのかって。になったならなったって素直に言えばいいじゃない。それを私のせいにしようとして。言ってよかった。しらせちゃんの計画に乗ってよかったって思いたい。
See, this is the part of her insecurities and stuff, and self-doubt.
ちゃんと状況は全部わかってる。 作戦も考えてある。
本当に？
うん。今度ちゃんと説明するから、決まりは準備進めて。
分かった。
A job? Hey! Oh,
Okay.
this is who's gonna join them.
今日から入ることになった玉木です。よろしくお願いします。玉木まりです。
Tamaki Mari.
それで決まり。
It's a good nickname.
三宅ひなたです。
Miyake Hinata.
16歳、高2です。一緒だ。
Hey!
よろしく。行きたい。なんか前から私たちの話聞いてたみたいで。
大声。
People say all kinds of things in front of customer service people.
嫌になったんじゃ
That's it, I don't wanna do it.
それで気になっててさ。そしたら決まりがバイトで入ってきたでしょ。これは運命だって思ったね、私は。
This one's way more positive and enthusiastic than
Oh yeah.
命の危険だってある
Tamaki
し
is.
旅費だってちゃんと払ってもらうし、出発は12月だから学校を休むことにもなる。
I'm OK 平気だよ。バイトでお金はある
I'm
し
okay.
高校はいい。でも間違えるなよ。勉強は絶対負けないから。
I'm as smart as
本人も
anyone.
取ってるし。この前の模試は合格判定 A だし。
Oh wow.
まだ高2なのに。
じゃあ大学は行くってこと？
そう合格しまくって、
Cool.
高校で怠けて落ちたやつらにざまあみろっていうの
はは
が今んとこの夢。いいのかこのまま肉まんとおでん作りで終わっていいのか俺の16歳。
Tamaki and her are just bonded instantly. It's
そんな
amazing.
ことないけど
Even though I don't drink.
うるさい。引き返せるうちは旅ではない。
Yes, well
There you
said,
go.
well said.
初めてそ
On
れは
reaching
旅
the
に
new
なるのだ。
world, Cortez burned his ships.
何それ名言っぽい。誰の言葉？私。
Yes.
でもよかったよ。
Shamelessly courting
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
あ
Yeah.
なたたち二人のこと嫌いじゃなかったんだよね。二人だけはなんか別だなって。
Shirase?
空気が違うっていうか。
そんなこと言われたの初めて。
私さ、集団の中でぐちゃぐちゃみたいなの苦手でさ、だから高校無理だったんだけど、
Ah,
Cool.
二人はいいな
that's
って
awesome.
言われたら。
Do you feel sufficiently flattered?
こうしてひなたちゃんは人の心を取り入るのだよ。じゃあね。新宿だ。キャラキャラするな。
Yeah.
群馬だってバレる。だってなんかキラキラしててどこ見ていいかわかんない。落ち着け。
Calm down.
待って置いてかないで。
歌舞伎町。
来たことないね、キ。大学生って顔してる
Don't
わ。
just act like you're in college. Yes.
遊び来たの？
Ah!
どうしよう。
Take a
面白いから
picture.
ほっとこうか。
それは普通男子隊員が多いから女子高生がこ
まさか誘惑しろって言うんじゃないだろうな。まあ
白瀬ちゃん美人だからな。
Yes.
私はない決まり。お願い。
もたもたしてると言っちゃうぞ。足だ。
Oh my god!
胸だ。胸を強調せよ。いいよなんか。大体胸なら。
Oh my gosh, I love this!
作戦考えたら白瀬ちゃんなんだよ。
Oh, because they recognize her, yeah.
しつこいねあの子も。
Oh no.
Wow, she's been here before.
Yeah.
誰ですか？
Oh, there's the other girl
お
from
辞儀
the
してどうする？
There's 3 of them.
逃げて。
Run! Over short distances, sure.
そうね。まだ追ってくる。家族隊員だから体力すごい。
They've got tons of stamina. This is so well animated. Holy
It's
crap.
Madhouse, of course it is. You're like, wow.
何？
ただ
Yeah, this is fun.
楽しい？
This is an adventure
なんかね
in and of itself.
私の青春動いてる気がする毎日見ている景色が目まぐるしく変わっていって
Oh, yeah.
やっぱ外飲み最高だね。美味しいね。今日は朝まで飲むか。
So smooth. Oh my god.
She's just powering on.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how she's only good over short distances.
Oh! It was all for naught.
別に命奪おう
Not
と
like we were
Okay,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
kill you.
奪いそうだけど
No, she actually might.
だって白瀬ちゃんがそうだよ捕まったら打ち首獄門って
そんなこと言ってない。
言った通りあなたを連れて行くことはできないの
It's not that they don't
たとえ
want
民間で
to.
もね
Right.
隊員には厳しい条件があって
分かってます。無理を
Those
言ってる
things
の
of
は
like
分
you
かっ
have
て
to
ま
be
す。
at least 18 and all that.
でもどうしても行きたい。だってお母さんが待ってる。
Oh.
資金困ってるんですよね。私たちをそのお金でスポンサーにしてください。
Oh, wow.
連れて行ってくれたらそのお金あげますから。
No way.
Dang. Come on, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so at least these
気
you
持
know,
ちはわ
adults
かる
kind
け
of
どね。
understand,
あれ
yeah,
から3年
you know,
Oh, 3
why.
years since her mom died?
で、本当に資金は大丈夫なの？
さっき言ったでしょまあ大変だけどいろいろ考えてるわ
白石さん。
もうその一環
Okay. Okay.
Alright.
これでダメと決まったわけじゃない
あと一息だった。もう少しでこのお金受け取りそうだった。あと少しで絶対にうまくいった。
こいつ
あと一息だった
ポジティブちゃんだ
The glass half full type.
まあそうじゃなきゃこんなことできないか
I love how she calls this a glass half full.
緊
Haha.
急動議小仏像しらせのリーダー解任を表明します賛成の人はい賛成多数
Majority rules.
たった今よりリーダーを解任します
Excellent.
Which is,
というわけで
Now let's go to Antarctica.
in a way, that's great because it's basically kind of
Taking the
relieving some of
stress
the
off.
pressure. No way.
Oh, what a wonderful
Wow.
episode. This was so
Wow.
good.
Okay.
I love this show.
Wow.
I officially
Yeah,
love
like,
this show.
like we were like, okay, first
Yeah.
episode, it's like, all right, this is gonna be a good show, but it's like, okay, this is a
Second
good show.
episode.
This is a good
So
show.
we're introduced to Miyake, Hinata. We can call her Miyake or Hinata. They both work. I
Yep.
think that one of the main points of things for the names of these characters that over time they'll all become more and more familiar with each other.
Right.
So they'll call each other eventually by their first names.
Or like nicknames, you know.
Or
and stuff.
nicknames,
Yeah.
yeah, like they did with
Kimari.
yeah.
That's what the main character's
Yeah,
name
Kimari,
was.
because
the nickname.
it's Tamaki Mari.
Mari. Yeah,
so
so-
they take the last
Right,
kanji
syllable and
yeah,
uh-huh.
Kimari.
Right.
Okay,
I now,
I like that.
okay, they did a fantastic job of introducing this new character, making it so it's
Oh,
like because
oh,
here's the
I
thing,
love her.
like they in a lot of ways they made it be a caricature where it's like they're the high energy person and stuff,
Yeah.
but they still totally owned that, and they still added in basically they had her say what her goal was, right?
Yes,
The
yes.
idea that she's wanting to be able to prove wrong or show up all the people that basically, you know, just sit around and do nothing in high school.
Yeah.
While not really attending high school, but instead just getting ready for college immediately, or was she already in college? I'm not entirely
She's
sure.
not in college. She's
Right.
16, just like
Yeah.
Tamaki.
And
But
she's
her-
studying for college.
Right, she's studying for college. She's basically prepping to take the entrance exam.
Right.
But I don't think she can take it early just because
Right.
just
yeah.
because she's ready to take
Right.
it. So what she's going to do is basically get into a really good college by being super ready for that exam.
Right. Even though she wouldn't actually have basically, because I think she said she did like the test,
The mock exam.
the mock exams, yeah,
And
all
she
that
got
stuff.
an A.
Right.
which
is
amazing.
Yeah, so she's smart.
So it's not that she is the high energy ditz caricature.
Exactly.
She is both the high energy person who just says what's on her mind, but also has the book smarts because she's at the very least got all the drive.
Yeah, like, she's kind of like a type A type person, but then she's also like warmer than like the stereotypical type A.
Yeah, if anything, I kind of see her as like the character who is like the good side of like a politician. Like someone who is warm and charismatic, but is a driven, focused individual that goes and gets after what they want. And their only real weakness is that they will flatter you to death because they know that gets them what they want out of people. Yeah. I love that she kind of also shamelessly mentioned that. Are you sufficiently flattered? Aha, that is how
Hinata Miyake.
Hinata Miyake warms her way to your heart, or wins over your heart.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that because there's characters that have charisma used in a negative way or in a way that's just like a little bit more manipulative, and she's just like, yeah, I'm kind of using my charisma to win you over, and I'm telling you that's because I desired your friendship. I want connection with you.
And there were so many
love her character.
There were so many little things that they did to basically reaffirm that whole idea of charisma in some fairly subtle ways.
Yes.
Like the fact that she just sat down with the two other random ladies, at the table.
Who are drinking.
And just very quickly was able to get them to be like, hey, I'm just going to hang out with you guys real quick. I'm hiding from somebody that's running after me, and they're just like, oh, cool. And then they just keep talking about the conversation, right? And then she's like, oh, no, she saw me and just
like scampers over the table.
And major props for actually having a female anime character that when they run, it actually looks like they're running. Not just for her, but also for the person chasing her. Because it's like, okay, these are people that have actually run before and aren't just like doing the, oh no, I'm going somewhere.
Oh, no,
right. But it's like
the shoulders pumping and everything. It almost looks like they're preparing for a boxing match.
Right. It's like it's one of those things that was like it had that dose of realism in there, but also that dose of like over the topness without being too over the top, right? So you're still like, okay, I can imagine this person actually being like this, but it's still like, okay, yeah, that's what it's like when, you go on expeditions to Antarctica and stuff. You don't get tired very easily, and like
your ability to work your lungs and everything is just really good. Your breathing is on point, so you have all the stamina in the world. That makes a lot of sense. In particular, the fact that Shirase, as we're going to be calling her now, because that's much easier to remember than the other. Kabuchizawa, yeah. Shirase has gone to these informal meetups many times before.
Right.
So much so that people who have been on expeditions with her mother, probably, I'm guessing that these people had gone on with.
Because I think they said that it was they mentioned 3 years ago, so that's probably when her mother died, which that really sucks because that's recent. That's like fresh wound stuff. Like it's not like it's like okay, my mother died 10 years ago,
and I've
always
mourned and I've moved on.
Right.
Enough.
This is very much possibly still part of the mourning process.
Right. If anything, she has not even come close to going through the mourning process because she's unwilling to accept the possibility that her mother is dead. Like her going on this expedition might also be a little bit of a do or die thing, in that if her mother is gone, then she's basically like, well, at least I did it here. At least I got here.
Right.
But she doesn't necessarily care about anything beyond that. And that's a little bit worrisome, but I don't think we're there yet.
And also, props for them, one, introducing a reason why she had so much money, and that also makes it a bit more realistic, the idea of them working up to get that money.
For sure.
The money that they need for the trip, because it's like, okay, they don't need 1,000,000 yen, right? Yeah. They just need enough for themselves, because she got extra, apparently, to try and get her way onto the boat from the other people fund their expedition. And also, major props for having Shirase and Kimari having some conflict in this episode, because there is a big difference between saying, yes, I'm going to do something and taking that first step, and daily taking the steps needed in order to do the crazy thing that everyone says you can't do. Because that's where the victory really is. And the fact that, because of course Kimari would have some trouble with that because this is something she hasn't done before, right?
Right.
And then, of course...
she also doesn't have the best kind of hold over her words, so she'll say things that she'll think and feel in the fleeting moments. And for people like Shirase, that's, no.
This isn't...
No, you're sounding like all the other people that doubted me. I can't be around you right now. And she realized, wait a minute. Yep. I know a little bit more about this person to know that they didn't mean that.
Right.
And
they did that all super quickly.
And just having... I like how we're calling her Kimari now. I'm going to stick with that as well. Yeah. Kimari and Shirase having some kind of conflict in the beginning shows kind of that element of realism, but shows that that's the simple kind of conflict they're going to have. Eventually, they're going to have bigger conflict about more important things.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So,
Also, though, I love the main two characters that we had been introduced in episode 1, but this new girl easily takes my favorite character spot just within her introduction, because
what is it with Hinata characters that are super energetic?
Right. But her energy and her passion is something because she's been sitting on the sidelines. And she noticed the buzz that was around these two girls and was like, I envied that. Like, I have, all that energy and all that drive, but you guys are going after something just because you can. And it's
and
different.
I'm going after something, but it's like a long-term thing. It's not like okay, in this amount of time, then I'll be able to take the test and, get into college and all that stuff.
Right. So if anything, it feels a little bit simple that she's making kind of the split decision to do
just
this.
Go along with them.
But also maybe a little bit of a thing for her to feel more alive in the moment, because she mentioned to Kimari that, this is I don't want to let my 16-year-old, my year as 16 go to race. And she's like, yes, exactly. And they bonded so quickly over that. But if she's focused so hard on the future and she's not living in the present, that's something where this decision for her is like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this because this is what I've been waiting for. Something
it's the obvious decision for her of why wouldn't I?
But also that means she has potentially the least legs to stand on as far as kind of stamina to go through this all the way when it gets tough. And I think that's where Kimari is actually going to be really helpful in that regard, is that hers isn't going to be about fear like Kimari's is, but it's going to be more along the lines of, okay, now we're getting up against things that could damage my future or something like that. Something where it's a much bigger risk,
where it's
in the long term.
It becomes a sacrifice to do this, not just a cool thing to tack on.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So I'm excited to see how their interwoven relationships kind of pull on each other and help support and inspire each other, especially going in between Kimari and Hinata. I love her so much. She's so great.
Okay, here's one other thing that I want to really give a shout out to this show for doing.
Okay.
All right. So in the opening, they show 4 girls all going to Antarctica, right?
Right.
And we have Shirase. She's saved up a ton of money, right?
Yep.
Makes sense, right? She's been preparing for this for a long time.
Yeah, she has the most reason to go down there.
Right. And in a lot of ways, she is going to have the easiest time with going down there.
Right.
Because she's been working for this for a long time.
She's mentally kind of conditioned herself for the whole thing.
And practically.
Yes, and practically. That's true.
Whereas Kimari, main character, right? Mm-hmm. She has a bit more to go on because she needs to actually work up the money and all that stuff. And the fact that they made the next character that they introduced into this be someone who already was doing the exceptional things that would end up helping them to be able to do something like this.
Right.
The idea that when this happened, the reason that she was able to say, "Oh, I'll go with you," is probably because she'd already been working for a while and saved up money and and stuff like that.
She's a big forward thinker. So
exactly. Right.
It works out.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the case of the other character that they introduced that was at the meeting, I'm guessing she's
Who's
already
following them on the train.
Following them on the train. She's
Right.
probably also done some preparation because she was actively seeking something like this out. One of the things that I was thinking, when I was looking at the 4 girls in the opening and I noticed that Kimari's best friend wasn't there,
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's really too bad. That would have been awesome if she could go. But this wouldn't be something to do lightly, and maybe some other people would have wanted to go, that they would hear about this and they'd be like, man, that'd be nice to go to Antarctica.
But that's the thing. There are the people that actively make an effort to position themselves in a way that these kinds of things are possible, and then there are the people that go, oh, I would love to do that, or I would have loved to do that, and it's like, that's kind of the people that Shirase has had to kind of call BS on a lot.
Right.
And she bears no ill will towards any of them, because she's like, I get it. Yeah. My dream is unrealistic and stupid and crazy.
Yep.
But I know, she's like, I just know there has to be some other people out there like me who will just say, who cares?
Yeah.
And
don't focus on the what ifs, could haves, and should, whatever.
Right. And I am excited actually for when they come back and people are like, wow, you're my inspiration, you're my hero. I would have totally loved to do that, but I had other stuff, and they're just like, cool. And then they look at each other and they have this newfound like sisterhood and just family that they have. It's gonna be so special.
And and the thing is, they could also do something where and they probably won't, because this is a short show, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's not really the point of the story, right? Because it's about their journey and everything.
Yeah.
But I'll bet that for all the people that when they get back are like, oh wow, that would have been great to go. I would have loved to go, and I would have, except that blah blah blah, this little thing. Oh well. There's probably gonna be a few people, even if they don't show it, that are like, I'm going to do something like that. I don't know if I'm going to do that exactly, but I'm going to find something like that, and I'm going to do it.
I think they'll show at least one person, but it's not going to be a huge
that would be cool.
So we also got that hilarious chase scene and scene where they're in Shinjuku, and they're trying to figure out a way to get into the informal event, and their plan is to convince a male attendee to smuggle them on via their womanly charms. And oh my gosh, the dialogue, just so
snappy and just
so good,
frantic, manically paced, but you can totally follow with it. And oh my gosh, I did not expect that level of comedy.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
They're pulling each other in, holding. I'm like, no, you do it.
And the great thing about all this is that all these antics were basically seen, at least the ones that were on display for them, were seen probably by the 4th girl who's following them.
Oh, yeah.
Who also seems to be kind of the low energy person.
The timid one.
The timid one.
Yep.
And now the thing I have as a question here is, wait a minute, if she's also maybe around their age, how is she there? What's her tie to this whole thing?
Yep.
I think she has some kind of family associated with the thing as well, and she's maybe going in to kind of watch her, maybe older sister or older brother or mother or father going on this expedition. It's like, oh, this is cool. I can't go, but wait a minute, these girls think they can go. Maybe there's hope for me. Maybe I can go.
Yep.
And she's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna follow them and see, if I can maybe break into their little group and stuff.
It doesn't necessarily mean that she's intentionally following them. It might just be that she happens to live in the same area as them.
On the same train,
But yeah, but if it is something where she's following them, that means just by seeing them doing all their ridiculous antics, right? That made her have enough belief in them, to be like, I'm gonna follow them.
Right.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna stick with them. I'm gonna go after them because they're gonna make this happen.
They can do this. And if they can do this, then I can do this with them.
Exactly. Yep.
And but okay, the comedy in this episode was so on point with the chase scene as well, because just the idea of them manically booking it around.
And, like, splitting up and saying, like, all right, where do we meet up? We'll figure it out on the cell phones.
Coordinated cell phones and everything. Yeah. So funny. Seeing the older ladies, like, just power running.
I loved Hinata,
so
like,
well.
constantly, like, checking back and be like, that's right, these guys, like, they have endurance.
And,
in
particular, there's something very, very exciting. I'm going to share a little short story here. There was a time where I was in downtown Seattle, and there's kind of a weird angle that all the streets in certain areas of Seattle on. They're kind of on a diagonal. Mm-hmm. And it's really fun and terrifying to run down the hills of those places there. Okay. Now, I'll tell you, you don't want to do it. It's nuts. But at night, some of the lights are up in specific areas and things, and also there's very few cars driving around there. So you don't have to stop as you get to another street. You can just hope there's no cars going through. So you just keep going really fast, and by the time you get to the bottom, it's all pretty and there's water and everything and stuff. But it's a very freeing thing because you're basically falling and flying and running all at the same time. Yeah. And the girls having this moment, specifically Kamari, noticing the scenery around her changing so quickly and having this feeling of motion. There's something freeing about running. I'm telling you guys, it's a drug. It's the closest thing to unassisted human flight. That's my take on running, basically. And when you feel weightless and you notice your environment around you changing so dramatically like that, it's just, it's euphoric. It's wonderful.
Defying gravity and
it's just so good. So I was taken back in a lot of ways by that scene. That was really cool.
Also, can we just talk about for a little bit about
the visuals and the animation?
Like Madhouse.
Oh my gosh, Madhouse. You've outdone yourself dramatically.
Wow.
I was just talking about the composition last episode. But no way.
Like all those parts where they would just show like the glasses with the ice in it, and they just show it for like a few frames because they probably worked their butts off for those few frames. But like, wow, like, oh my god.
There was a lot of things also where things got a little bit comedic and also with the running, where the character model animation was just like, whoa. Really good.
Yeah.
A lot of the visuals with the city and everything with the lights there further just adding on to the the effects and the compositing and all that. But oh my gosh, the visuals are so good. And it feels good to watch a show that's, like a 2017, 2018 show. Or I think it's a 2018 show, with just all the effort and the work and the talent put into like everything. So we feel like we're watching something that just is like from the future. It just feels so beautiful.
I know, because like okay, one of my favorite shows from Madhouse is Black Lagoon. That came out in 2006, right? And the visuals, like the animation and everything, I'd say it still holds up, right?
Yeah.
But then
you jump 10 to 12 years later.
12 years in the future. And it's like, just get me a bed already.
Buy me dinner first, please, Madhouse. Like, oh my gosh. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Wow, keep it up. Like, I hope this isn't something where they're like, I mean, Madhouse is, they know what they're doing. This isn't their first rodeo.
Jacob.
But like,
it's going to keep it up
all
the way through. If anything, there's probably get like a couple scenes that we're like,
our eyes are just going to to
Yeah, we're going to be like, oh my word.
Wow.
I think the only thing in particular left to kind of talk about is you're maybe a little bit more right than I was willing to admit about how long it's going to take them to get to Antarctica. Because they mentioned a timetable here. They're going in December. Mm-hmm. Now,
we could get a Christmas episode in Antarctica.
Well, the thing is, the reason why they're going in December, and I wanted to bring this up, is because on the southern hemisphere, December is summertime. So they're actually going in the warmest time.
Right, because otherwise it'd probably be like a bit harder.
But one of the things in particular in the opening that they showed there was, you notice how they had basically like tanned skin, and then around the goggles they're all white and stuff. Basically,
UV rays.
Yes, and also the atmosphere is very thin, so it goes through a lot. But in particular, what that means is that, you know how we have all this gorgeous lighting and stuff here? It's going to be amazingly gorgeous when we see it reflecting off of the ice and everything. It's going to be awe-inspiring. So it's going to take them some time in universe to get to Antarctica.
Right, because they still haven't like established the main forecast. Like they just now hinted, okay, this is the next person, probably going to be the next episode. Right, they get fully introduced.
Yeah, but if at any point they decide, okay, we'll do a little time skip of them just grinding out some work hours to save up money, awesome. And just in how much they've shown in the first 2 episodes, I still think we're going to get more than a couple episodes in Antarctica.
That would be great.
Because they also scoped out how they're coming back.
That's true.
So that has to take some amount of time as well.
Hopefully, this isn't a one-way trip. So, you mentioned that whole thing about the opening and
the opening is called "The Girls Are All Right." I don't want to read too much into that.
This is a happy place.
Sounds stupid, but
this is a happy place.
Yes,
hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, I just hope the girls will be all right. I think the main thing is that the girls are all right could also mean
emotionally,
like we are living our best life right now.
Right, we are free and all that. Yeah.
And I swear, in that moment, we are infinite.
I swear, in that moment, I could do that.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, if you want to watch the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can also watch full-length reactions there, and all of this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about stories or anything, Madhouse's visuals or what have you. And we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.